How are you guys today? It's a beautiful Thursday. July 2nd for us. And today's episode is Summer Sun, Patriotism, and Microsoft. All of which may not exist in the same world, but that's fine. This is S+Marketing Live. We're here to help you feel and be smarter about what's going on in the marketing world right now. What is S+Marketing? Thank you for asking. I love it when you guys ask that question. S+Marketing is based on the ultimate human technology, stories. Our team is here from Story Collaborative. We're a group of growth marketing consultants. And while we start to introduce ourselves, if you all could do a watch party, that would be amazing. All you have to do is press the share button and then start a watch party. This is really easy to do on the Facebook app. It's not so easy to do on desktop, so if you can't get to the watch party, at least share it. We'd love that. We'd really appreciate it. Invite your people. Dave, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Dave. I'm the Chief Growth Officer here, and I have a bone to pick today. I have an axe to grind, and here it is. When the people that have tried to help me make an avatar and made an avatar, it did not fix my receding hairline, and I'm ticked about it. But other than that, I'm great.
Well, that was honest. Jen, welcome to the party.
Hey, my name's Jennifer Bailey, and I am the Stories web therapist, where I help websites to feel better and do better.
Yeah, we want them to do better, not just feel better. We don't really care how they feel. We want them to show up and work.
Poor websites.
Yeah. That's right, Chad. Go for it.
Poor websites never have their feelings heard, poor guys. All right, I am Chad Alexander, and I am the video strategist with Story Collaborative. And what does that mean? I get to play with videos all day. Not really, but there's more to it than that. And I'll explain more as we go along. Who knows? Maybe I'll just leave it mysterious for the whole episode.
Ooh, mystery. Well, I'm going to ask you about our sponsor in just a second, but I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Okay. I'm Amy Alexander. I'm our creative director. My goal is to keep brands unified. I like to be jealous for our brand and your brand, and I like to make sure that all the way from the receptionist to your logo and your colors and everything in between, that your brand feels unified. It gives a unified customer experience. Customer experience. That's such like a marketing term. What's your customer experience? Chad, who is S+Marketing Live brought to our audience by today? That's the most complicated way I could have said it, but go for it.
S+Marketing Live, if you guys can hear this, if you guys can hear me, we're experiencing some lag on our end. If you guys can hear me, S+Marketing Live's today's episode is brought to us by you. Viewers like you are sponsoring us all around the world. Thank you so much for your continued contributions, not only us, but also PBS. So thank you.
I was going to say.
Reminds me of Baymax, the movie.
Oh,
yeah, where he's like, Mary baby.
That's one of my favorite scenes in almost any movie. So cute. All right, well, today's episode, Summer Sun, Patriotism, and Microsoft. Today we're going to talk through all kinds of marketing news and information. We're going to help you understand what it means for you so you can adapt your own marketing efforts. Our first segment is usually, and as it is today, repeat after me. I love this segment because who doesn't love verbatim responses that they can give in awkward marketing conversations? So our first question is going to be what to say to your boss when he asks, why aren't we advertising on LinkedIn? Here's what you say. What a great idea, boss or man, woman, whoever, not a guy girl thing. The challenge is that they are super expensive and they really aren't built for bottom of the funnel activity to get sales on demand. So I need a budget large enough to do top of the funnel brand awareness activity on LinkedIn. Can I have a budget for that? ? And that's what you say.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right. So our next question, which I love, what to say to the county fair committee when they ask you for marketing advice because we all have that friend who's like, you're a marketing manager, professional. What are we supposed to do? Jennifer, you have an answer for us?
I totally do. I would tell them that, you know what? You should look up your custom segment data on claritas.com. And if you did, you might find some very personalized, fun ways to really speak to your audience and get them to the county fair. Like, for example, did you know that your best segment for that fair might be old country casuals living in your zip code? Country casuals are known as the red, white, and blue. They are middle America. They love to drive Dodge trucks, country music, eat big hamburgers, and their favorite raffle would be a new hunting rifle.
Good advice.
And it's claritas.com. I heard for a second margaritas.com and I got sidetracked. It is Thursday, so hey, in this COVID world, just do it, man.
I love that. And I think that's an amazing answer. If you can give that kind of answer to someone, they're going to be like, oh, you really are professional. I'll be like, I know. Dave, what do you say to your marketing agency when they ask if you want to keep advertising through a holiday weekend? This happens a ton of times a year. It certainly happens more than once during the summer. And what are you supposed to say to them?
Well, we know that all these big events, holiday weekends, presidential campaigns, all kinds of things like that, New Year's weekend, all these things interrupt the normal flow of activity. So I think it's a really simple answer. If they want to know if I want to keep running my ad, I think the answer is this. Is the ad something that will be attractive and interesting to people who are doing what they do on the holiday weekend? So in the summer, would it be attractive to those who are surfing on their phone while they're waiting for the grill to heat up, watching their kids play in the water or sit at the beach? If the answer is yes, then keep running the ad. If the answer is no, then don't keep running the ad. Pause it. If you needed a special ad for your special weekend or whatever's coming up and you didn't create it, I don't want to do it now. So either keep it going because it's valuable or pause it because it's not. It's a very simple answer.
I think one thing to remember is that depending on what it is you're selling, sometimes people have a little bit more space during the holiday weekend to think about things that are already on their mind. So just because they're going to a July 4th celebration or Memorial Day weekend thing or whatever it might be, doesn't mean that they suddenly stopped being human for the weekend. The alternate can also be true. They're so busy getting to and from that they don't have this on their mind and they don't have time to think about it. So it can be a bit of a subjective question.
And we know that people are on their phones all the time looking at stuff. So, a good example of this is the day after Christmas. All the ad and website views start to go through the ceiling because people, what are they doing? They're sitting around, they're making turkey sandwiches, they got nothing to do except shop and look on their phone. So there's lots of these seasons. So it's really a question of, is stuff valuable or not? Is it interesting? Is it something that is important to that person?
Should people expect their ad costs to get higher or lower? Like, will their clicks maybe cost more during a holiday weekend?
Well, it totally depends. It depends what industry they're in. If they're selling, I don't know what, clothing, they're selling electronics, if they're involved in any of those things, then during those holiday weekends, those things might go up. If they're selling boats and skis and swimsuits, then during the summer, they might go up. So often they can ask the advertiser themselves whether or not they expect the ad cost to go up because they know historically what's likely to happen. And we've actually gotten warnings from some of the advertisers that they're going to slow down and go up in price. So we should be thinking about our ad strategy. So the marketing agency should know, and they actually should be giving you advice, not making you make the decision.
Very true. All right. That was a great segment. Thank you, guys. Our next segment is Ads in the Wild. Roar. That's what my twin girls would say when you ask them what a lion says. They're like, roar. Super cute. I don't have it with me, so sorry. I don't have a video. But Jennifer, what's our Ads in the Wild today?
All right, ads in the wild, my favorite segment. So today, with the holiday in mind, a holiday weekend, we are going to look at an ad that plays off of the holiday in the best way. It doesn't stick with a specific holiday, but it definitely plays off the values of the customer. So I'm going to share my screen. Here we are. Can you see the YouTube? Okay, here we go.
Here's a couple of things America got right. Cars and freedom.
I mean,
That
ad
is an
really
awesome ad.
It is.
I remember that one. That's a good one.
Yes, it is excellent. It is like playing
Tell me
right
if
to
you have a
the
car
American
yet. Now,
heartstrings.
where to find
That was more ads playing. So that ad, it really truly plays off the heartstrings of the average American. It's an ad for a car, but as you know, cars are absolutely one of America's favorite pastimes, so it plays right off of that. So that's my ad for the week.
I love it. We believe here that advertising often, now it depends on where you are in the funnel. You know, sometimes if you're at the very bottom of the funnel, you're ready for a sale, it is a little bit like me, like da da da, come buy my thing. But a lot of most advertising is actually about entertainment. And so one of my favorite ideas is that ads aren't about a brand, they're an extension of a brand. And so that Challenger ad there were literally no stats about the car. I didn't hear about the engine or the tires or other cool car terms that I don't know. It just was an extension of this Challenger brand that they want to put out. So, and it was really entertaining. So that was really, really well done.
I thought it was a great pick, Jennifer, because, you know, and also we're talking about what do we do during these disruptions in the market that come from holidays and things. You know, one of the things to think about is how can I line up my brand and my brand values with the values of my customer. And that was a great example of how to appeal to your customer values and line them up with your brand, create a connection. It was awesome and very funny.
Another great example of brands that are challenger brands actually is Oatly. Oatly is a brand new oat milk, been out for a few months, but it's called Oatly, and they're a challenger brand. That's what they call themselves. So all over their packaging, they have like all this really kind of confrontational language around what they believe about, you know, keeping the earth for a long time to come and taking care of the soil and being, recycling and all this stuff. And they're sort of like, we don't really care what you think, but this is our opinion. And if you don't like it, you don't have to buy our stuff. One of their bottles actually says, if you don't like what we have to say, don't buy our stuff. So anyway, very, very interesting, the Challenger brand. Okay, Chad, do you have a term of the week?
A term of the week, yes. So buckle your seatbelts because this is a video term for you from the video guy, Shock and Awe. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about aspect ratios. Now, a lot of times people kind of get mystified when it comes to aspect ratios, and they're like, their heads roll in the back of their heads. Simply put, aspect ratio is the dimension of the width and the height of your image. Okay. Now there's different. Oh, there we go. Dave's giving us a quick little glimpse of it. Okay. So there's different aspect ratios depending on what kind of video you're producing. Now, old TVs, they would do the 4:3. And if you watch TV, older TVs from like the 80s and even like early 2000s use this, you'll see these black bars on either side. This is called, it's not letterboxing, but it's like bread boxing or something like that. But there's black bars on the left and the right side of your screen. And this is to preserve the cracker box?
Graham cracker boxing.
Sure. Yes, this is the graham cracker boxing. See, Dave knows more about this than I. So what it does is it retains the original aspect ratio. Now on your widescreen TV, your TV is a 16:9 aspect ratio. Okay, width, height. Okay, so if you were to take that 4:3 aspect ratio, and I'm trying to illustrate this for you without going too far over. And you were to try to fit it into a 16:9, how would you achieve that? Well, you would zoom in, and guess what? The image gets blown out.
And you cut off the top and the bottom.
Exactly. Stuff gets a lot wider. Stuff gets a lot fatter. It doesn't do well. Okay. So whenever you shoot in your aspect ratio, make sure you retain your aspect ratio. And one of the ways you can do this is whenever you put it into your nonlinear editor or your video editor of choice, make sure that it's in the right aspect ratio. Most of the times when you're shooting, you're going to be doing a 16:9. Now, certain ad platforms like Vimeo and Facebook and these guys, they have different ways of showing different aspect ratios. So like, for example, Vimeo caters more towards the super wide. So we're talking beyond 16:9, like stuff that's like way out there, and it's meant to look like this would have extreme letterboxing, right? Because they want you to see that whole landscape.
Wait.
This is done for like
there's something
epics or westerns and
something
stuff.
beyond 16:9.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, but if you get even like because the kids watch this all the time, Moana shot in like I think it's 2:35:1. This is getting way too technical, but basically it's in letterbox, and that's way beyond 16:9. So yeah, so when you're shooting your stuff and when you're exporting, make sure you know what kind of aspect ratio is right for your whatever channels you're posting on. So Facebook responds well they do well with 16:9. They do well with the 9:16 where it's vertical, where it's like a cell phone kind of image. And that really, it kind of like narrows it like that. Really,
which would be like a story, right? Like when you're going through Facebook stories or Instagram stories.
Exactly. And there's the 1:1 aspect ratio, which is the square image. And that's also doing well on Facebook and Instagram, because as you're scrolling through your feed, it comes up really nice and neat. There's nothing, you're not wasting a lot of space. And it also attracts your eye because it's a square image. So aspect ratio.
Very
so make sure when you're editing your stuff, keep it in the original aspect ratio and do what's appropriate for your channel.
So quick question, Chad. If I'm going to run something in more than one location, and I need more than one aspect ratio, then do I have to export that more than once? I have to edit it and export it to make sure it fits, or what's the deal?
Yes, I would. And movies have been doing this, right? So they'll have an advertisement on Instagram and they'll do it in a square ratio. Well, the movie's not by any means filmed in a square ratio. So what they'll do is they'll use that square ratio to frame up a certain person. Maybe there's a scene where they want to capture more of the emotion and not the entire shot. And that's okay if it's still artistically done, but it's when you get this sloppy, let's put the whole thing into a 16:9 is where it gets tricky. So I would go ahead and I would edit it as two separate videos. And we've done this with some of our clients in the past, just trying to see what the performance is like in terms of the square does pretty well on Facebook, but sometimes people just want that classic 16:9, especially if they're like on a desktop and that sort of thing.
So don't let your videographer give you something edited in an aspect ratio that you can't use very many places. And if you need it in more than one place, arrange that before the editing and plan for them to provide it in multiple aspect ratios. Awesome. All right, thanks, Chad. That was super great. I learned things. Our next segment is the 5 W's, where we tell you the 5 journal, who, what, where, when, why of some kind of marketing story of some type. Today, it's all about Microsoft. So the who is Microsoft? They launched a beta, currently free product called the Digital Marketing Center. It aims to help you manage your presence across social platforms in one convenient dashboard. Really interesting move for Microsoft. Although it's currently free, it did just launch last week on a beta status. So likely, if it becomes popular at some point, it will be a paid product. You can check it out. I'll include the link, but it's microsoft.com/en-us, English US, /digital-marketing-center. I'm sure if you Google Digital Marketing Center, Microsoft's product will come up really fast. So as you know, we are unabashed HubSpot fans, supporters. We're HubSpot partners. We love HubSpot. We have left the fold of HubSpot and come back because of the other stuff we used really didn't work. That's how much we love HubSpot. So all that to say that what their sort of marketing is an all-in-one dashboard. Well, all it really does right now is let you manage some social stuff. You can manage social ads, and then I think organic social across a couple platforms. So it's a good start for them. What it means to me is that if Microsoft is starting to get into this game, I'm happy about it, because if we know anything about HubSpot, it's that they have a big development team. They spend a lot of money on R&D, and if they have competition, great. They're just going to make their dashboard even better. So I'll be interested to see what HubSpot does in response to what Microsoft's doing. Any other comments about this?
Well, I think it's actually a play in which they recently put out Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams has been out for a while, but they've made it free. They're trying to get a lot more users on their site. But I think that what they're doing here is they're actually preparing us, because they're going to launch a Microsoft social media network. It's going to be called Microface. And you're going to be able to put things on there and have your face on there, unlike other platforms. And you know what? If they did it, it would be great. But I will say that there are a ton of other platforms that you can use for social media management. So that's not really anything new. I'm not sure why they're really doing it, but I'm looking forward to their social media platform that is favored by IT directors everywhere.
That's awesome. I think I froze, so I just turned my video off for a minute.
It disappeared.
Can you guys hear me now?
Where's that voice coming from?
Oh,
Who's a ghost?
Sorry, guys. As you know, the whole globe is like on the internet right now, so we're having some super fun times. All right, so our final segment is website therapy, and I think Dave is going to do a little website therapy for us. Dave, what's our website therapy term today?
So the reason we do website therapy is because websites are the place where we get leads, almost everybody. And the reality is that if you aren't redesigning your website, you're thinking about it, or you're wishing you hadn't because it was so painful. So there's a lot of therapy, not just for the website, for the people that are trying to manage them, but websites really need to work hard for us. And we want them to do that. So when they're not working, when they're unhealthy, when they're a little sick, we call Jennifer in, who's our website therapist, and she helps them get straightened out and get their head straight. So here's what our website therapy is for today. Here's the disorder that we want to address. It's called website amnesia. Website amnesia is when your website forgets people as soon as they leave. It's like a loss of short-term and long-term memory completely from your website. Here's why this is a problem. Because of how sophisticated websites have become across the board, people expect your website to be really smart. They want your website, they think your website should know them. It should know what they want. It should give them what they want. It should remember their name. It should fill out forms for them. It should give them things that are interesting to them and not boring. So if your website has no memory, then every time someone comes back, it's as if they don't matter. They're not important. The issue here is that websites really have to be built integrated with a CRM or customer relationship manager. Every person, including the anonymous visitors who come to your website, that's right, anonymous, they don't tell you who they are, should be identified so your website knows they've been there before. And that allows you to track them. So we do this by integrating our websites and our content management systems all together so they're actually one unit. And that allows our websites to deliver smart forms, smart calls to action, personalized content. And when you go to a form, if you've already been there before, it will fill it out for you, which is so nice. It makes people feel so special. So if your website has amnesia and does not know anyone that's been visiting, and it really can work a lot harder if you can integrate a CRM and have one you can get for free. Yes, that's right, for free. This is better than a set of Ginsu knives with a free extra set. This is a free CRM, and we're happy to help you install it. It takes just a couple of minutes. And when I say free, I mean actually free. I don't mean kind of free or free for a month. It's free forever, and it really works cool. Plus, it has a whole bunch of other tools that you can use at the same time, including getting notifications when those people visit your website again. So if you want to get a free CRM and cure website amnesia, then you can go to info.story-collaborative.com/free-CRM. That's info.story-collaborative.com/free-CRM. And we'll put that up in the Facebook feed so you can see it, and hopefully you can cure this little problem that you're having. I think we've lost the video for Amy and Chad. I'm not sure. I think that they had a bad hair day or something and finally just gave up on it. But I think they
Dave,
can
if
still
you
talk.
wanna, yeah, I'm still here, but you know, internet's not too happy with me. Do you want to close us out, Dave?
Absolutely. So I was looking
Thanks.
this morning at a piece of research done by one of our, I believe, the University of Michigan, and they were researching the impacts of having a positive attitude on things like how does joy, how does love, how does contentment and focused interest, how does that impact people? And we've got so much negativity around us all the time. If you can focus on some of this stuff that's more positive, you will discover that it will create real benefits for you, not only in your work, but also in the rest of your life. So my encouragement today is do something to focus on love, contentment, focus your interest, or focus on joy today. It'll make a big difference for you. I think that's all we got for today. Anything else, Jennifer?
All right.
Oh, Amy's back. Magical.
That's magic. I was always here. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. That was awesome, Dave. If you thought this was helpful, we're always here, same time, same place, Thursdays at noon. We're now on Facebook and YouTube. Getting fancy. Every Thursday at 12. So we'll see you there. And thanks for joining us. Bye, y'all.